Hello, welcome back to More Fun Fixing It. Got something very special for you today. It's not your usual Commodore or Sinclair Spectrum or whatever else I usually fix. I don't usually do very many Amstrads on this channel because, well, to be honest, they don't go wrong. They are usually CPC 464s with a gummy power switch or a Duff tape deck. But this is something very special. Probably one of the most sought after and desired games consoles of its time. I didn't say a year then because I can't remember when it came out. I think it was actually 1991 or 2. I think this was so ridiculously late. This was competing with the likes of the Amiga 1200 and the Super Nintendo. This was Amstrad's last 8-bit machine. So this is, let's open it up and have a look inside, an Amstrad GX4000 that I picked up last year from the Cambridge Bring and Bite sale that I attended. Complete in box. Well, not complete. There is a lot in here. I'm sure there are bits missing is what I'm saying. It's complete with an Amstrad GX4000. It's manual, which is, this is one of those times when a manual is actually useful. And we'll get into that in a second. A box that a power supply used to be in, but is now just a box that takes up this space here. A game controller with 2 fire buttons, revolutionary for 10 years before this came out. And that feels terrible. It's a 9-pin DIN. Oh, just looking at the plug. Why are 2 of the holes really big? The sticker is, it wants to come away. I wonder if there's enough demand out there to get this remade. Dan, Retrofied Dan, do you fancy a challenge? Fully working. It has another sticker on the back that states fully working. The reason that this has got that kind of sticker on it is because this was one of the display machines from Cambridge Museum of the Cambridge Computer Museum of Computing, the Cambridge Museum where they keep computers. Oh, I don't know what it's called. I was there. I was literally there today. The Cambridge Museum of Computing. So this apparently works. I wonder if this works with a standard joystick tester. Oh, that's really tight going in there. So up, down, left, right, yep. Fire, and the other fire doesn't do anything on this, but I'm not sure if that's just because this is wired differently. But that seems to work well enough with one button. I'm not sure that the second one is needed for me to actually do any actual testing, so I'm happy to just use this as it is. That will be good. Now this is faulty and I have a cartridge to test it with, which is the one that comes with the 464 Plus. Oh, it just says burning rubber on here. I wonder if this is the same as the one that comes with the 464 Plus, as in it has burning rubber and basic on it. So that obviously plugs into there like that. But I do have another cartridge. It's this thing. Look at this. This is brand new. This is the Pico GX. And this is an SD loading cartridge. Got a Pico inside here. I'm not going to open it up because it has a sticker on it and I don't want to break the sticker. But you can see, if you go to Derek's website, flamelilly.com, I think it's flamelilly.com. Let me just check that. No, it's shop.flamelilly.co.uk. And Derek is listing the Pico GX on there for sale now. So this is, yeah, brand new. This was made by, I had to go look, I've got such a bad memory for names. It's made by Roderick, who has been working on a Pico SD-loading solution for the CPC range of computers, but he's pivoted to this one because I think this was just an easier one to get over the line. So yeah, here we go. This is ready to go. It's ready to put in there, and hopefully I can use this to play all of those amazing Amstrad GX4000 games that I've always wanted to play and never been able to. So, but first of all, I've got to repair my GX4000, which is broken. Now, if you look down here, in here, it's missing a bunch of pins inside this DE9 port, which is the player 1 port. This is an analog joystick port, by the way. I don't even know what that is. No idea. Let's consult the instructions. It's an auxiliary control device, whatever that means. We've got stereo sound coming out of here. Stereo. A Peritel port, which is very similar on the back. This is very similar to a SCART socket. I think I can just use that as a SCART socket. A sound switch. I thought that was going to be a selector, a channel selector for the UHF. We've also got this is the monitor port, and then very, very confusingly, we've got 2 voltage inputs here. One with a 2.1mm center pin, and the other one with a 2.5mm center pin. And you do not want to plug the wrong voltage into one of these. It does show you nice and clearly in the instructions that this is the 5-volt socket. It says that really nice and clearly there on the instructions, really clear. It doesn't say that anywhere on here. It doesn't say that under here or on here. Yeah, so if you plug a 9-volt or a 12-volt adapter into this, you are going to blow up. This is basically connected straight to the power switch, which is then connected directly to all of the ICs on the board. You put 9 volts in there, or it will be more like 11 or 12 volts. It will fry the whole thing. That's how these die. It's all very well working on something safe and plentiful like my beloved ZX Spectrum or Commodore 64. There are literally millions of these things being dug out of sheds and attics all the time. But what if you want to explore something a bit more obscure? Buying a rare vintage computer like a Computer's Lynx these days is a huge investment. But there is another way. Which brings me to the sponsor of today's video, PCBWay. Thanks to the amazing retro community, enthusiasts are actively reverse engineering these incredibly rare machines. So instead of hunting down an expensive fragile original, you can take those open source files, upload them to PCBWay and have a brand new professional quality replica manufactured. Take these Computer's Lynx PCBs I was generously donated. PCBWay makes bringing a forgotten system like this back from the dead completely accessible. And if you're building smaller expansion cards, memory modules or custom adapters to get these obscure systems running on modern displays, they can fabricate standard boards up to 100 by 100 millimeters for just $5 for a batch of 10. They can even 3D print missing keycaps or CNC machine custom cases to finish the build. Don't let rare hardware become a lost piece of history. Check out the link in the description to get your custom boards and parts made. Big thanks to PCBWay for supporting the channel. And to Lester for sending me these. There are no screws in this, which is nice. Pull these clips on either side and it comes apart. So a weird little RF shield thing there. And then the motherboard is just connected to the top side with a power lead for the switch. So we've got this is the 5-volt port, and I can show you how this is connected to everything. Right, so that's the center pin of that. The center pin is connected to this side of that 2-pin connector there, and then the other side of the 2-pin connector is connected to 5 volts, anywhere you choose to find it inside here. Yeah, not great. The other one is actually the smaller one, so you can plug a 9-volt or whatever into this. That's also connected. Oh no, that's connected to the voltage regulator, which lives just on this heatsink here. Yeah, that's connected to the input that voltage regulator, and the output of that voltage regulator, which is obviously 5 volts, is then connected to this same pin. So that's connected straight to this one. So that's basically, it's got voltage regulation on it. And the reason they did that was because a lot of people had Amstrad monitors around at the time. They were quite popular. They had some really, really good quality color monitors, CRT monitors. And they had a video lead coming out that you could connect to the monitor socket on here, which is this one. And they also had a power lead coming out of the front, which has 5 volts on it, and that you could connect straight into power the whole system without, you know, it's already got a regulated 5 volts in coming out of here. Why have another one in here? But then they put one in here anyway for people that didn't have those monitors. It was madness. Absolutely crazy. It's one of those things that somebody went, you know what, this is a good idea. And then down the ages, enthusiasts have been laughing at them ever since. Absolutely crazy. So the problem with this is that this port has got broken pins in it. And when it was in the museum, it was still in service because I don't know who did it at the museum, but some enterprising person at the museum bodged a couple of wires in here that connects it, pin 8 and 9, I think it is, together on. So the pin 9 on this one is connected to pin 9 on this one. Pin 8 on this one is connected to pin 8 on this one. So they're connected together. So basically, what that does is turns that into port 1 as well as this. So they're both port 1s. Now, I want to revert this back to its original state. And there is one thing that is making me hesitate, which is the diodes that have been put onto the back of this board as well. So there's 2 diodes being put between pins 6 and 7 and these points here, and then 6 and 7 here and these 2 points here. I don't know where these points go to. I think they look like test points for the joystick ports. I'm wondering if these are protection diodes for if you're going to use a different controller that might put voltage in the wrong place. So if you used, for instance, any other Atari 8-bit style joystick, like a zip stick, for instance, or an Atari joystick, that would only have 1 button. If you want to use a Master System one, I think that this might be a bodge to deal with that. I could be wrong. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to photograph it. These are basically 1N4148 diodes. I have looked that much up. I'm going to photograph this so I can reverse it if this stops working for some reason. Take these diodes off, take these wires off, restore player 2 back to factory, what it was. Or was that... That looks like there might have been... Oh no, maybe not. Now there are diodes here, and there should be... Let me just show you the schematic. These are the control ports. There's control port 1 and there's control port 2. And you've got up, down, left, right have got these 1M, well, they're actually 1SS132 diodes. The cathode is towards the pin, and that's all I really need to know. I just need to make sure that they are all connected as they should be on here. And it looks, I mean, there are 4 diodes on each control port on the other side here. So I think that these ones on the back are just extras that have been added for some reason that I don't really need. I'm going to use this controller, so I don't need to worry so much about diode protection for using, I don't know, Mega Drive controllers or something like that. Whatever somebody has come up with. I have searched around and I can't find anything that really matches. Anyway, so this port here is broken. Let's get that out first, and maybe I should plug it in first. Yeah, I should plug it in first. Right, I'm hoping that a 464 Plus, these are basically the same as an Amstrad 464 Plus. I'm hoping that this is the same lead. This is Retro Computer Shack SCART lead for an Amstrad 464 6128 Plus. Now it doesn't say GX4000, but yeah, like I say, I'm hoping that this will fit. Yeah, it looks like it does. Okay, I'm going to test this on my TV first. just to see if it actually starts. We'll need a cartridge in it. And I need to plug it into the right port with the right polarity. Right, I'm plugging into the oh no, it's not going to fit. Okay, I've actually put 5 volts onto the power supply. I also need a jumper for that. Okay, so I've put a jumper on the power switch pins. Oh yeah. Okay, so I can use the 5 volts, that's good. Yes, perfect. Okay, it does work, no problem at all. And I use the 5 volts directly off of the power supply. I did forget to actually plug in this flying lead, which actually gives 5 volts to the SCART socket. I wonder if that will actually just work directly. If I go into the other one, it wants to start, but it's not quite starting because there's not... this one needs more than 5 volts. This is going to be scary actually doing this. Right. So I've got a black screen up here because the SCART has not been switched but with the blanking signal or whatever it's called. So I'm going to have to make sure that my power supply is set to 5 volts and I connect this in the correct manner. But anyway, that works. Let's have a look at removing all of these mods. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is just remove... Actually, I'm going to take some close-up pictures of the bodges. Like that. Then I'm going to get some tweezers and remove all of this stuff that's on here. Apparently this fault with broken pins in the ports is very common on these. Okay, so the broken one is this one. I'm tempted to fix the other one as well, but we'll just do the one for now. I've got a new port here that I'm hoping to fix. It looks to be the right footprint. So I'm just going to flow some solder into all of these. There's a lot of ground around this these pins here, and a lot of thermal mass on the other side. I'm probably best getting a really chunky tip for my soldering iron, putting that on and using that to transfer heat and then crank up the heat as well. But the first thing I'm going to do is actually remove all the solder from the joints on the pins first, and then hopefully I can just walk the whole thing off of the board with just by heating up the big pins. I don't think that's going to fit over there, and I don't even think I've got anything that's going to fit over there. They're really big pins or really big legs. So the first thing I want to do here is just to make sure that all of these pins are free and wiggling nicely. That one's good, that one's good, that feels good. Yep. So if I know that nothing is holding that onto the board, I can just walk this out. Yeah, I think I gained about 1 millimetre on that side. Oh, that one's gone a bit more. I've pushed it with the soldering iron as well. So the key here is to actually wait for it to go hard before I let go for the solder to solidify. Let's give this one another go. Yep, that's gone. There's a little bit of friction as well on these pins. On the new one, you can see that they are like a spread kind of wings that clip into the board. So I'm fighting against that as well as everything else. I'll get hold of it. There's one side out. And the other side. Right, I don't think there's any damage on the board there. Just need to get that solder out of there. I'm going to use some of my cheapo wick that I picked up. I should just be able to just drop this in here. Yeah, perfect. It's not exactly the same as this one, but I don't think anyone's really going to care. Got my extra thick solder here that I use for heavy stuff like this. Just makes it a little bit easier to flow solder quickly into a point like this. And then now I just need to solder up those pins. That should give me a working port. I'm not going to clean it up yet. Let's just pop it in its case. Oh, still quite warm. 5 volts, this one. And we are connected to 5 volts on there, and that will connect to there. Plug that in, make sure it still works. That still works. Now, let's see if this will work. I should have tested this the first time, really, in its initial state, but I didn't. That's one reason I think that the pins have gone in this. This is a really stiff plug to push into there. Okay. Fire 1 to start, fire 2 for options. Doesn't work. What is going on there? That wouldn't boot with this connected to joystick port 2. There's nothing shorting anywhere. Oh, it did. So not quite as simple as I was hoping. I think the first thing I need to do is clean this up and make sure, no, it's this one. In fact, there is still some stuff going on over here that I want to make sure isn't causing a problem. So I'm just going to have a quick inspection over here, but I need to clean it first. I want to make sure no traces have been cut. And it looks like some traces have been cut. Okay, I forgot to press record. Really sorry, but basically I discovered that there's a trace cut here underneath this bodge that I've made. You can just see the traces cut there, and I've put a bodge wire in there. And the traces for these were missing completely. That doesn't look like they've been cut or erased. They looks like they were never there. So I think that these are actually factory bodges. And looking at these diodes, they're exactly the same as the ones on the other side. That's not touching that lead, by the way. I'll just push that over a bit more. They are exactly the same. So I've put them back because I think they might be needed, just in case. I don't want to risk anything. I'll just show you the diodes on the other side. See, they're exactly the same type, style. These are the same as 1N4148s diodes. I think that they are factory. I think that was a factory bodge. Right, so let's try again and see where we get this time. I'm nervous. Every time I plug this thing in, I'm nervous I'm going to get it wrong and plug it into the wrong port. I don't suppose it really matters when I'm doing it with 5 volts though. The video's in, cartridge is in, and we need a gamepad. Let's just actually see if it works first. Yep. I will show you capture of this in a minute. Now let's try. What? Hey. Oh, forward is... When you've got 2 fire buttons, why would you make forward? The fire buttons do nothing. Okay. Burning Rubber is a decent game. If it had come out, you know, 8 years before, it would have been impressive. It would have been impressive, considering what else was around at the time. Right, so next thing I want to do is see what happens when I plug this in. I'm not going to put any cards in it or anything. I just want to see what it does. Oh, it's already got a game on it, so this must have been tested with a game. Ah, 2-button joy. I got way too much into that before I did anything. So, right, I need to find an SD card, pop it in there and put some games on it. Okay, I have an SD card in there, and as you can see on the screen, I've actually managed to download some games onto here. Now, I've basically downloaded the whole TSOC, is it called? From the Internet Archive, the whole collection of GX4000 games. And I also did a Google search and said, what's a good game for the GX4000? And it said, oh, Robocop, or what's the other one? Navy SEALs. I could not work out. Let's try this one. I could not work out how to play this game. I don't know what I'm doing. It's an ocean game. Yeah. So I can shoot, or I can jump. I can shoot just to the side. I can't shoot up. They can shoot in different directions, but I can't. If I climb up here, he's just going to shoot me. Oh, I managed to shoot him before he shot me. Yeah, he shot me. I'm dead. So I could shoot the first one, but I can't shoot that second one. Now, I can also get up platforms. So if I can jump up on here, I can go over here. But he just shoots me. But you say, well, why didn't you shoot him? Oh, okay, I'll do that then. So I jump up here, jump up on here. I can only shoot that up to that crate. Why I can't shoot over the crate? Why can't I shoot over the crate? Oh, I can shoot. I jumped on the crate. I didn't want to jump on the crate. I don't want to do that. Oh, for God's sake. So that's that game. I don't like that game. Barbarian, I could not work out. I haven't tried Batman the movie. Let's try Batman the movie. It's always a promising game. Nice colours. For an 8-bit machine, this is not bad. Well, I don't know whether I've actually selected... Oh, I have selected the right thing. Oh, I can throw Batarang things. Yeah, this is more like it. Can I climb up here? Batman, crouch. Oh. This is a much better game. Hey. Right. No. Oh, I can swing. I can swing. This is such a good game. What's... Batman is dead. Okay, I think the last thing to do with this now is just to put it back together. Oh, actually clean up the mess that I made on the other side of the circuit board, of the motherboard, because I left it a little bit mucky. See here, it's that needs a little bit of a clean up. I'm going to use some nano sponges. Make that look a little bit prettier. Oh, it won't go together because there's bolts in on that DB9 or DE9. Oh. Well, that's a problem. That whole shroud wants to just fall off. That could be literally anywhere now. I think what I'm going to do is glue it in place. I'm going to put it in position. I've lost one of the screws. It's literally gone forever. Right, yeah, so I'm going to put some super glue on the inside of this. That is way too much. Like that. Screw this in place to hold it as a clamp. And then I'm going to get some epoxy, not epoxy resin. I'm going to use some UV curable resin in the other hole on this side as a plug, and then do the other one as well. So I can't put UV curable resin in between because it won't cure. It needs to be able to be seen. Didn't get my light out first. So that's all running down there. Let's get that back into where it's supposed to be. Right, another plug of UV resin in this side. And a bit more on this side, just to make sure it's joined on both sides. And that shouldn't ever come loose from there. Now there's a solid bit in there, I can fill these up so that they dome a bit. Massive overkill fixing this in place. So even with this very stiff controller, that should be able to put up with quite a lot of abuse. Yep, that's good. Right, now I can put it back together. Now that it fits properly. There we go. I wonder if I can do anything about this. I wonder if this was where it was stuck down somehow in the museum, so that it wouldn't get knocked about too much on display. Or whether it was just put down on a tarry road. Hairy gunge. Here we go. Right, let's make sure it still works, and then I can wrap this up. So I'm quite impressed with the Pico GX. It's a simple thing. It just gives you a very simple interface. Don't need to do anything too complicated to make things work. It's really nice. Copter 271. Oh, it's a shoot 'em up. It's a shoot 'em up with inertia. Well, how am I supposed to shoot that? It's just like a constant barrage of bullets coming out of the front of that ship. What's this? Not a bad shoot 'em up, this, actually. Pause works nicely. I like the way it actually pauses the game, but your helicopter blades are still turning. Ah, that's pretty cool. Right, okay, it's enough of that. Yeah, this is a clever little thing, and if you want one of these, which will work with your CPC with your 464 Plus or your 6128 Plus Amstrads, as well as a GX4000. You can get it from Flamelilly shop. I'll put the link in the description. Thank you to Derek for sending me this one, and thank you to Roderick for developing it. Thank you to Will at the Cambridge Museum of Computing. I think I've got it right. for selling me this one last year, and they have regular bring and bite sales. There's one coming up fairly soon, actually. I think it's in April, so probably not long after this video goes out, which I'm not going to be able to go to, but I've seen some of the things that they're going to have for sale, and you would be crazy not to go there if you're interested in collecting these weird old things. That's it for this one. I enjoyed that, actually. It's nice to fix something different, but we will be getting back to some stuff that I'm a bit more familiar with soon. I mean, if anything silicon had been broken in this, apart from maybe the memory chips or something equally simple, I wouldn't have been able to fix it. So yeah, I'm going to get back to fixing something that I know I can repair one way or another. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Like and subscribe.